You were training, what was the hardest thing for you to pick up?
Andre the Giant,
Yeah.
which I never did. I did get Big John Studd off his feet one time.
Wow.
The man who never could, the true giant of professional wrestling, as he used to say.
Wow.
That was always a good gimmick. You'd pick him up, all right, take me up for the slam, and he'd get the rope,
right.
like you're going to do it, and the fans would pop, and that was that was always pretty,
I guess
humor.
would it be for your psychology and stuff like that? Was that one of the first things they had to pick up? I mean, were you ever discouraged?
Actually, no. How my career started, okay, we'll go back to that, was I did the Florida routine. We were working the independents. We were, doing. Vince McMahon started doing the WWF. Hogan had left the AWA and went there, and Hulkamania was born and running wild. Vinny was running TV up in Canada. He was doing Poughkeepsie. So they needed guys to work. Back in the old days, grab my arm, I'm going to kick you in the stomach, we're going to beat the hell out of you for 3 minutes, and you go home. They needed bodies. So another friend of mine who had worked doing, jobs and stuff for Vince Sr. back in the day, named Joe Mascaro. He gave Rusty a call, and he says, hey, they're starting to do TV up in New York, and they need guys to do. You got anybody who you think is good enough to, to go up there? Rusty said, yeah, I got a good crew right here. These guys are really working and training hard. He said, well, I'll come over and, give them a look. And he came over. He said, yeah, these guys are good. I think they do wonderful for this. So by that time I was doing, local shows, small shows, and, high school gyms
right.
and stuff, getting my breaks. So I've been in the rings, a few times. Nothing of that caliber yet, but, you got to start somewhere. Then we started going up there and doing TV. I had my hair was, just long, and doing my shape. I was R.T. Reynolds.
Right.
You work with whoever, they wanted you to work with.
Do you remember any of the guys that you worked with at that time?
Oh, absolutely. I can sit there and can I name drop? Oh, literally everybody, which was a fantastic learning experience. Like the first time you get in the ring with Black Jack Mulligan, you're like, man, this Black Jack Mulligan, you're a huge man. You're a mark. You're trying to get into this profession, but these are people that you admired. You see on TV that are larger than life. Tag teaming against Jimmy Snuka and Ricky Steamboat and taking, just Snuka's splash. It was like, wow, I got splashed by Jimmy Snuka, even though you're doing the job. Literally everybody. I mean, I never wrestled in a single match against Andre, but you're in there from Big John Studd to the British Bulldogs to Ricky Steamboat to Jimmy Snuka, Roddy Piper, Bobby Orton, Jesse Ventura, Adrian Adonis, Sheik Volkov,
wow.
Barry Windham, Mike Rotundo. There was such a vast amount of talent up there, and these were all world-class athletes and, premium wrestlers. You couldn't help but learn. If they put it to the side, hey, man, you did good, or you need to improve and listen up a little bit. They were very professional. They were all good like that because they wanted to look good. And yeah, you're up there to do a job, but hey, you can do more than let me kick you in the stomach, I'll pound you on the back and kill you.
Right.
Let's try to have a match. So it started working like that. I did that for, about 6 months, going up to Canada, going on to Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie mainly at the time, we would do the TV there. And George Scott was in the booking office at the time, and Vince. We were staying at a hotel, Holiday Inn, and they were just sitting there at the bar. We were talking with each other, and Vince called me over.
This is Vince Jr.
Yeah.
Right.
Vince,
he already passed away.
Right now, Vince, Vince
right.
Jr. His father had passed by then, and he said, hey, Mike, how you doing? I said, good, Mr. McMahon, how are you? And he said, I'm doing well. I said, have a seat. I said, okay. And he said, so I've been watching you. How you doing? I said, I'm doing well, sir. I like coming up here. I've learned a lot. There's a lot of great people that are working for you. And I said, it's like a dream come true. It's very interesting and intrigued. And, thank you for letting me come up. He said, okay. bought me a beer, and a couple months went by, and we were doing TV every 2 weeks, and then he told Jay Strongbow, Chief, road
Right.
agent, hey Chief, put Kirchner under a hood. So I went from R.T. Reynolds to I had a yellow mask.
Right.
It was just that yellow mask, and then I was the Axeman all of a sudden.
Huh.
So I was the Axeman, still doing jobs, but still going up there. I don't know, probably did that for about 2 months, and then Hulk Hogan called me. He said, Mike, I said, damn, so what's doing?
Huh.
He says, I want to talk to you. I said, okay. He has office, Vince and them have been watching you work over the last few months, and they like what you see. They like what they see, and they want to give you a break. And it's like euphoria, I mean, what do you do? A break? We want, put you to work full time in WWF. And I said, that'd be fantastic, outstanding, wonderful, all those other great words that you could think of at that time. And I said, yeah, I'd love to do that. He said, all right, Vince wants to see you in the office next week. He wants you to, but I had, like the long hair.
Right.
All right. I had beard and stuff. Trying to look like the Bruiser Brody kind of thing. So he took me off TV for about a month. I shaved the beard. I cut the hair. Well, I went to see Vince, the next week. I went to, up to Sanford, and we talked about my past. I was in the 82nd Airborne Division. I was a paratrooper, and Sergeant Slaughter had a hell of a run, up there for Vince. But then he decided, and they had a falling out. It was time for him to go, and I guess Vince's mentality at that time was anybody is expendable. Not you. Yeah, you are tremendous talent. You made a lot of money for me, but when you start getting believe in your ego and
Right.
you're worth more than this. I'm a businessman. The Sarge decided to go, and he said, "You were in the Army, right?" Yeah, and I told him, I was a paratrooper, and I did this, and a soldier, and he wanted to create another military character. And he says, "What were you in the Army?" I said, "I was a corporal." And he said, "Corporal Kirchner." And he said, "That's who you're going to be."
Huh. Wow.
And I said, "Outstanding." And I told him, he said, "Well, what type of training did you do?" I said, "As a paratrooper, Vince. I think if you want, we could do promo shoot and jumping out of an airplane." I thought of, something original. I said, "One thing in this sport that I've never seen is anybody jump out of a plane, and I can do this. So you want to do that?" And I said, "Absolutely." And he said, "That's a great idea." Got a film crew together and everything else. I said, "Vince, I don't have the $1,500 for the for private thing." He said, "I'll take care of all those expenses. Let's get you down to Florida and we'll start shooting promos."
Right.
And that's when I did, the scenes where I actually did, skydiving and jumping out of a plane and swimming in the swamp.
I remember that was great.
Working my way, for my break.
Right.
When I come out there.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.